This video is about Osiris guards the Duat with fury until Anubis reveals a dark secret. If this myth excites you, please like the video, share it with friends, and write in the comments how it pulled you into the adventure. In the twilight of the world, where shadows intertwined with the light of dying stars, the great god Osiris stood sentinel over the Duat, the realm of the dead. His emerald skin glowed in the pallid moonlight, casting an ethereal sheen over the expanse that housed the souls of the departed. The Duat was a labyrinthine landscape, filled with serpents of emerald and rivers of molten gold, where the echoes of lost voices reverberated like distant thunder. Osiris bore the weight of his dual existence. As god of the underworld, he was both a guardian and a judge. Underneath his stoic exterior surged a tempest of fury. The balance of life and death had grown perilously fragile, and dark whispers of rebellion echoed through the astral planes. The threat of chaos loomed large, and Osiris was determined to preserve the sanctity of his dominion. As he surveyed the shifting sands of the Duat, a shiver ran down his spine. An unholy wind, tinged with the scent of decay, swept through the realm, carrying with it the secrets of the damned. This was no ordinary disturbance. Something twisted and vile stirred in the abyss. The gods had their eyes fixed on the Duat, wary of the judgment that Osiris might deliver. "Osiris!" A voice like rolling thunder split the night, drawing his attention. From the shadows emerged Anubis, the jackal-headed god, his figure cloaked in the darkness of the unknown. A storm brews within the hearts of the departed, the soul's whisper of a secret long buried. "Speak, Anubis," Osiris commanded, his voice resonating like the toll of a great bell. "What treachery festers in the shadows? What dishonor threatens the Duat?" Anubis stepped closer, his eyes glowing like molten gold. "The scales of justice are unbalanced. There are those among the living who seek to upend the natural order, spurred by desire and greed. A betrayal lurks in the heart of our pantheon." "What do you mean?" Osiris narrowed his eyes, his fury simmering just beneath the surface. "What living creature would dare challenge the will of the gods?" "Set," Anubis replied, his voice a low growl. "He stirs discontent among the mortals. His whispers of rebellion have ignited a fire that threatens to engulf both the living and the dead." Osiris' fury ignited like a wildfire. Set, the god of chaos, had long served as a thorn in his side. "I shall confront him," Osiris declared, the earth trembling beneath his feet. "He will answer for this insurrection." "Patience, brother," Anubis cautioned, his gaze piercing through the veil of rage. "There is more than mere discontent at play. The souls of the dead have begun to rise, led by a shadowy figure, shrouded in smoke and ruin. We must tread carefully." Osiris clenched his fists, his knuckles turning white. "Those who disturb the Duat shall face the consequences of their actions. I will not allow Set to dismantle the order I have sworn to uphold." Together, the two gods ventured deeper into the Duat, where the air thickened and shadows danced around them. The landscape twisted, revealing a vast void that pulsed with malevolent energy. Here, lost souls wandered aimlessly, trapped between despair and longing, their wails haunting the air. "Look!" Anubis pointed toward a gathering of souls, their forms coalescing into an ominous shape. They are drawn to the darkness, feeding on the chaos that Set has sown. With a wave of his hand, Osiris summoned a radiant light, illuminating the gathering. Souls recoiled, revealing their faces filled with anguish, yet behind their despair glimmered a spark of hope and inexplicable connection to the living. "Listen to me," Osiris commanded, his voice echoing through the realm. "You are not forgotten. Your time has not yet come. Return to your rest, lest you unleash the wrath of the gods upon you." But the souls, caught in a trance, began to chant a name that echoed through the Duat like a death knell. "Set, Set, Set." The very fabric of reality trembled as dark energy surged, spiraling from the void. Suddenly, from the depths of shadow, a towering figure emerged, cloaked in darkness. Set's eyes gleamed with a malevolent light. "Osiris, brother," he hissed, his voice dripping with disdain. "Still too noble to embrace the chaos, I see, but your time is at an end." "Chaos is a path to ruin," Osiris retorted, stepping forward, his voice fierce. "You would see the world burn in your insatiable thirst for power." Set laughed, a hollow sound that reverberated through the Duat. "Power? No, dear brother. I seek liberation. The souls are restless, yearning for freedom from your chains. Align with me, and we shall reshape the cosmos." "Never." Osiris thundered, his determination resolute. He raised his hands, summoning the energies of the Duat to form a barrier against Set's incursion. "Your reign of terror ends here." The air crackled with tension as the two gods clashed, their powers colliding like thunder and lightning. Shadows writhed and twisted around them, forming monstrous shapes that lunged toward each other, a cacophony of battle echoing through the Duat. Yet in the depths of the chaos, Osiris felt a profound unease. Anubis stood at his side, weaving through the darkness, guiding the lost souls back into the light, but the tide of battle was shifting. The rebellious spirit surged forth, drawn to set as moths to a flame. "Osiris!" Anubis shouted above the din. "The souls are breaking free, they heed Seth's call, and if we do not act quickly, both the living and the dead shall be consumed." In that moment, clarity pierced through the storm. Osiris realized that to safeguard the Duat, he needed not only brute strength but strategy. "We must reach the core of this rebellion," he bellowed, rallying the power of the Duat. "I will bind the wayward souls to my will. Then we must act as one." Anubis answered, joining his brother in a powerful incantation, drawing on the sacred energies of the underworld. Their voices intertwined, creating a harmony that resonated through the very essence of the Duat. But Set, sensing the threat, twisted the fabric of reality, conjuring monstrous beings to divert their focus. The ground erupted as serpents of smoke and shadow lunged toward them, their fangs bared, hungry for the god's divine essence. "Stay focused," Osiris shouted, thrusting his hand forward, channeling divine energy to scatter the darkness. "We cannot let Set's darkness extinguish our light." Just as the tide began to shift, a piercing scream erupted from the depths of the Duat. A figure appeared, cloaked in shadows, their face obscured. "You fools," they shrieked, a voice that sounded both familiar and sinister. "You cannot hope to contain the chaos once it is unleashed. Who dares to challenge us?" Anubis growled, his stance shifting into a defensive posture. The figure stepped forward, a glint of silver piercing the darkness. "I am the Herald of Ruin, the Keeper of Secrets, and I bear a message that will allure your very soul. Set's power lies not only in his chaos but in the betrayal he has sown among us that runs deeper than you can imagine." Confusion rippled through the gods as they exchanged wary glances. "What do you mean?" Osiris demanded, his fury now laced with uncertainty. The figure lowered their hood, and the light revealed a visage both enchanting and terrifying: Sethris, the goddess of fate and destiny, whose presence sent tremors through the Duat. "He has twisted the fates themselves, binding them to his will, the souls you thought to protect are but pawns in a game far greater than you realize." Osiris' heart sank. The balance of the cosmos was at stake, and Set had woven his web of deceit through the very fabric of fate. "What must we do?" he asked, his voice steady yet heavy with despair. "You must confront the truth of your own destinies," Sethris said, her eyes glimmering with secrets. "Only by embracing the darkness within can you hope to quell Set's storm and reclaim the Duat." A silence fell over the Duat, pregnant with the weight of her words. Osiris felt the pull of destiny, the paradox of honor and betrayal swelling in his heart. He knew the confrontation ahead would be painted in shades of tragedy, yet he also realized that the fight for the Duat was only beginning. As the winds howled and the shadows beckoned, Osiris, Anubis, and Sethris stood resolute against the gathering tempest. The clash of gods had commenced, and destiny awaited its champions to rise from the ashes of chaos, for the Duat and the very essence of the world were in peril. With rage simmering beneath their resolve, they prepared to face Set and the unfolding darkness, fully aware that the storm within the Duat raged ever stronger, a tempest born of chaos swirling around Osiris, Anubis, and Sethris. Shadows writhed at the edges of existence, clawing at the fabric of reality, and the air was thick with the scent of despair and fury. Osiris felt the weight of his brother's rebellion pressing down on him, a dark shroud that threatened to engulf all he held dear. "Together, we must forge our power into a weapon," Osiris declared, the determination in his voice rising above the cacophony. "The souls know not what they follow, we must remind them of their purpose." Anubis nodded, his gaze unwavering. "The living will not understand our plight, but the dead hold memories of honor. If we can reach them, perhaps they will see the truth." Sethris stepped forward, her presence illuminating the dim landscape. "The fates are in a precarious position. Set's manipulation has shattered their threads. We must weave them anew, but it requires a sacrifice." "A sacrifice?" Osiris echoed, unease settling in his gut. "What price must we pay?" "The bond that ties you to your dominion may be the very key to reclaiming the Duat," she whispered, her voice like silk brushing against stone. "You must confront the darkness within yourself, Osiris. Only then will you gain the strength to face her." The words stirred something deep within him. The essence of his being was woven with the memories of battles fought, of countless sacrifices made to preserve the order of existence. Yet, lurking just beneath the surface was a fear he had long buried, a fear of what he might become if he embraced the darkness too deeply. "Very well," Osiris said. "I will confront this darkness, but if it pulls me away from my duty as guardian, you must bind me to reason, Sethris." With a flick of her wrist, the goddess summoned ethereal threads of fate. They shimmered in the air, weaving towards Osiris, wrapping around him like a cocoon. Feel the shadows you've repressed, accept them, harness their strength. Only through this can you reclaim what Set has stolen. As the threads entwined around him, Osiris closed his eyes, surrendering to the flood of memories and emotions. He felt the screams of the fallen, the laughter of the joyous, the guilt of choices made in haste. His heart ached with the weight of it all. He could feel the darkness slithering through the cracks of his soul, whispering promises of power and vengeance. Fight it. Anubis' voice pierced through the shadows, urging him. Channel it, do not succumb. With a mighty roar, Osiris surged against the tempest within him. He felt the darkness coiling like a serpent, but instead of resisting, he embraced it, guiding it into a fierce flame that ignited his spirit. Now, he unleashed a wave of energy, a blinding light rippling through the Duat, shattering the shadows that threatened to consume him. The lost souls, swirling and confused, began to pull back from Set's alone whispers, drawn toward the light of their true guardian. Yet amidst their retreat, Set's laughter echoed like thunder, vibrating through the realm. Fools, do you think you can thwart me with your light? I have woven chaos into the very fabric of existence. As Osiris regained his footing, he turned his gaze to Set, a new fire igniting within him. You cannot hold dominion over the souls that yearn for peace. They deserve more than the bonds of your deceit. Set's form shimmered, flickering with shadows, morphing into grotesque shapes of twisted horrors. You are naive. Osiris, chaos is freedom. Embrace it, and you shall reign supreme. Your promises are poisoned. Osiris bellowed, drawing upon the strength of the Duat, channeling it into a radiant spear of light. With a swift thrust, he unleashed the energy towards Set, who merely laughed, summoning a swarm of monstrous shadows to intercept the attack. Anubis joined the fray, wielding his staff with immense power, each blow a testament to his unwavering loyalty. We will not falter, he shouted, cutting through the shadows that sought to entrap them. For honor, for justice, we fight on. The ground trembled as the gods clashed, a symphony of chaos and power resonating through the Duat. The very essence of reality walked around them, the skies darkening as Seth summoned his army of wraiths, twisted souls bound to his chaotic will. Attack! Osiris commanded, rallying the souls behind him, their hope rekindled by his resolve. Together, we reclaim our fate. Zephyr spun her hands, weaving the threads of fate into shields and weapons for the souls. Use his strength, she cried, as the wraiths surged forward, a dark tide threatening to overwhelm. The battle ensued in a ferocious whirlwind, Osiris and Anubis cutting through the riding mass of darkness. The lost souls rallied behind their gods, their spirits igniting with a newfound determination. Remember who you are, Osiris shouted, striking down a wraith. You are not mere shadows. You are the echoes of honor, of love, of life. Stand with me. The souls surged forward, a wave of light against the darkness as they faced their fears. The Duat pulsed with energy, the very fabric of existence shaking as the gods battled Set's insidious grip. But Set, ever cunning, laughed with malice. You think you can turn them against me? You forget, Osiris, that I am their true liberation. Let them taste the sweetness of chaos. The shadows coiled tighter around the souls, pulling them into the depths of despair. Some faltered, caught in the seductive whispers of chaos, their memories twisted into dark visions. Osiris felt the pang of despair as he saw some lost souls drawn away, their light flickering like a dying candle. No. Anubis roared, unleashing a wave of shadowy energy that forced the darkness back. We will not lose them again. A fierce resolve ignited within Osiris. He locked eyes with the souls, their fear palpable. You have the power to choose, he bellowed, his voice resonating through the very fabric of the Duat. Stand together, remember your love for the living. With that, he thrust his hand forward again, channeling the combined energies of Anubis, Zephyrus, and the souls. A brilliant light erupted from his palm, cascading through the Duat, illuminating every shadow, searing through Set's darkness. Feel your connections. Zephyrus cried, her voice echoing through the air. Embrace your destinies. With renewed strength, the souls surged forward. The collective light coalesced into a magnificent force, charging against the shadows, igniting the darkness in a brilliant display of unity and hope. Set, realizing the tide was turning, lashed out, conjuring monstrous beasts from the depths of the Duat. You think you can defeat me? I am chaos incarnate. But Osiris, now infused with the strength of the fallen and the living, stood resolute. You may be chaos, but we are order. We are the guardians of destiny. With one final push, Osiris hurled the brilliant light towards Set, its brilliance cutting through the shadows like lightning. The darkness screeched, recoiling in agony as the light washed over it, unraveling the web of chaos that had ensnared the souls. Set's form flickered, the shadows dissipating as he clutched his head. "No, this cannot be, you will pay for this." But it was too late. The light enveloped him, drawing forth the darkness until he was left standing in the center of the Duat, disarmed and weak. "You may have won this battle, brother," he spat, "but chaos is eternal. It will rise again." "Perhaps," Osiris replied, his voice calm yet resolute. "But we will stand vigilant. The Duat is our domain, and we will not allow chaos to consume it." With a swift motion, Osiris' band set with chains of light forged from the energy of the souls who had once been lost but were now free. "You will not threaten the balance again, brother. You will reflect in the shadows, forever reminded of your choices." As the light enveloped Set, the souls surged forward, their spirits now unbound. They began to ascend, drawn to the light of their memories and the love of those they had left behind. "Return to the living," Osiris called, his heart swelling with pride as he watched them rise. "Your legacies are not forgotten. Return to your loved ones, your lives." With a final burst of radiant energy, the souls departed the Duat, leaving behind only the echoes of their laughter and tears. Osiris turned to Anubis and Osiris, their faces illuminated by the remnants of the battle. "We have triumphed," Anubis said, weariness in his voice, yet a glimmer of hope shining through. "Yes," Osiris replied, her gaze steady. "But the battle for destiny is never truly over. We must remain vigilant." Osiris nodded, a sense of purpose igniting within him. "Together, we will guard the Duat. The chaos will rise, but so too will we." As the echoes of the fallen souls faded into the luminous embrace of the cosmos, a fragile silence fell over the Duat. The radiant light that had burst forth from Osiris lingered, illuminating the cavernous expanse, revealing the scars of battle etched across the landscape. Wraiths lay vanquished, their dark forms dissolving into ethereal mist, while the remnants of Set's chaos churned like a storm cloud on the horizon. Osiris stood resolute, a beacon of emerald light amidst the devastation. Anubis, ever the stalwart protector, stepped beside him, his jackal features softened by the glow of victory. "We have won this day, brother, but at what cost?" he murmured, gazing at the remnants of lost souls that remained in the Duat. "Cost is a luxury we cannot afford," Osiris replied, his voice grave yet steady. "The balance of life and death is precarious. We have cast Set into the depths, but the shadows of chaos are never far behind." Sethris, the goddess of fate and destiny, nodded solemnly, her presence weaving a tapestry of fate that shimmered around them. "The threads of destiny are frayed, Osiris," said chaos is more than a mere disturbance. It is a fundamental challenge to the divine order. We must weave them anew before he returns. "Then let us begin," Osiris declared, stepping forward. "Together we shall restore what has been lost, but I sense a deeper darkness yet lurking beneath the surface. We must remain vigilant." As night fell upon the Duat, the air shifted, thick with foreboding. The winds howled, carrying whispers of discontent that danced like specters around the three gods. Just as they began to channel their energies to mend the tapestry of fate, a sudden tremor shook the ground beneath them. "By the stars!" Anubis exclaimed, bracing himself against a pillar of obsidian. "What sorcery is this?" From the depths of the Duat, a fissure split the earth, and a figure emerged from the shadows, a sleek, serpentine silhouette bathed in darkness. "So, the gods think they can reshape fate without consequence." The voice was a hissing melody, alluring and twisted. Osiris turned, fury igniting within him as he recognized the figure. "Apep, you dare to show your face here after your last defeat. Your chaos is nothing compared to the light of the gods." The serpent god laughed, a chilling sound that curled through the air like smoke. "Ah, dear brother of the dead, your light is but a flickering candle in the abyss. Seth's downfall is but the first act in a grander scheme. I have returned to claim what is mine, the hearts of the lost." With a flick of his tail, Apep summoned shadows that writhed and twisted into formidable beasts, nightmarish creatures with fangs like daggers and eyes that glinted with malice. "They heed my call. Together, we shall drown the Duat in chaos once more." "Stand firm," Osiris commanded, raising his hands, summoning the energies of the Duat. "We will not succumb to your dark whims." With a surge of radiant energy, Osiris sent forth a blast of light that illuminated the Duat, incinerating the shadows that threatened to engulf them. Anubis, wielding his staff, darted forward to engage the monstrous beasts, each strike precise and imbued with divine power. "Feel the weight of your darkness," Anubis shouted as he struck down one of the larger creatures, its form dissolving into a mist of despair. "We will cleanse the Duat of your foul presence." Yet Apep merely laughed, unharmed by the chaos around him. "Foolish gods, you cannot comprehend the depths of my power. I am the eternal night, the hunger of the void, and you will bow before me." Sethris stepped forward, weaving her fingers in intricate patterns, summoning threads of fate that glimmered like stars. Your reign ends here, Apep. For every shadow you cast, I will weave the light of hope. You cannot extinguish the soul's desire for peace. As the goddess of fate unleashed her creation, threads of radiant light shot forth, wrapping around the vile beasts, binding them in shimmering chains. They writhed and screamed, their forms unraveling under the weight of Destiny's power. Osiris raised his voice, a rallying cry for all who could hear. Remember your purpose. Lost ones, you are not mere shadows to be commanded. Stand tall against the darkness. This is your time. The souls, emboldened by Osiris's call, surged forward, their ethereal forms glowing with renewed strength. They embraced the light, joining the battle against Apep's monstrous minions. But Apep's cunning was not to be underestimated. With a wave of his tail, he summoned a tempest of shadow, engulfing the souls in a dark whirlwind. You think you can stand against the void? I shall feast on your light. Together, we are stronger. Anubis shouted, rallying the gods and the souls. He raised his staff high, channeling the energies of the Duat into a single, concentrated force. Now unleash the light. With a roar, Osiris joined Anubis, their powers merging into a blinding beam that cut through Apep's darkness like a sword through silk. The ground shook as the energies collided, a shockwave radiating outward, scattering the shadows and illuminating the hearts of the souls, reminding them of their lost loves and the lives they had yet to reclaim. Apep howled in fury, his serpentine form contorting as he struggled against the radiant assault. You shall not win. Gods, the night will consume you all. Not while we stand united. Sethris cried, her voice ringing with the authority of fate itself. Your time of chaos ends here. She wove her threads into a tapestry of light, binding Apep in luminous chains of destiny. As the shadows recoiled, Osiris saw an opening. Now, together, he shouted, thrusting his hand forward one last time. We shall send you back to the abyss. With all their might, the three gods unleashed their combined power, a radiant surge that enveloped Apep. The serpent god writhed, his laughter turning to screams as the light consumed him, unraveling the darkness he had sought to spread. No, this cannot be! I will return! Apep shrieked, his form dissolving into fragments of shadow that scattered into the void. You cannot destroy chaos, for chaos is eternal. As the last echoes of Apep's cries faded, a calm settled over the Duat. The shimmering light of the gods shone brightly, illuminating the path for the souls who had fought beside them. Osiris turned to Anubis and Sethris, his heart swelling with pride and gratitude. We have triumphed once more, but the battle is never truly over, Osiris said, his voice filled with resolve. We must remain vigilant, for darkness will always seek to reclaim what it has lost. Anubis nodded, his jackal eyes reflecting the light of their victory. We will stand together, as we always have, for the Duat, for the souls, and for the balance of existence. Sethris stepped forward, her presence radiating a quiet strength. The threads of fate are now woven anew, but they are fragile. We must nurture them, guiding the lost to their rightful paths. As the three gods stood united, the Duat pulsed with energy, the landscape shifting and transforming, scars of battle healing under the glow of their combined light. The souls, emboldened by the victory, began to ascend, their laughter mingling with the winds as they returned to the world of the living. Go, my children! Osiris called, his voice echoing through the Duat like the chime of a great bell. Return to your loved ones, your legacies are not forgotten. With a final burst of light, the last of the souls soared into the skies, their forms shimmering like stars against the backdrop of eternal night. Osiris turned to face Anubis and Sethris, a deep sense of purpose igniting within him. We will guard the Duat, he declared, his eyes blazing with determination. We will stand against chaos, for as long as the stars shine, we will preserve the balance between life and death. As they stood together, the winds of destiny wrapped around them, and in that moment, the gods of the Duat knew that they would face whatever darkness lay ahead, united in their commitment to honor, sacrifice, and the eternal struggle for balance. The Duat was not just a realm of the dead, it was a testament to hope, resilience, and the unbreakable bonds forged between gods and souls, an everlasting legend waiting to be told. As the echoes of victory reverberated through the Duat, a fragile tranquility enveloped the realm of the dead. Yet, within the stillness, an undercurrent of tension rippled through the air. The scars of battle still marred the landscape, remnants of Apep's chaos twisting like shadows against the radiant light of Osiris. The gods knew this peace was a fleeting illusion, a lull before the storm. Look there! Anubis shouted, his keen eyes narrowing as he scanned the horizon. A faint shimmer flickered in the distance, a distortion in the very fabric of the Duat. Something stirs beyond the veil of shadows. Osiris steadied himself, his emerald skin radiating a fierce glow. "It cannot be Apep again," he said, a touch of defiance coloring his voice. "We have cast him into the abyss." But uncertainty gnawed at him. Apep's chaos had not been so easily quelled. Cephus stepped forward, weaving her fingers through the air as she summoned the threads of fate, shimmering like stars. "The fabric of destiny is fraying once more. There is a disturbance in the cosmic balance. We must uncover the truth." With a united resolve, the three gods moved toward the shimmering distortion, their forms lit with anticipation. As they approached, the shimmer expanded, revealing a swelling vortex, a gateway pulsating with dark energy. From its depths, a haunting melody wafted, a siren-esque call that tugged at the hearts of the lost souls lingering close by. "Beware!" Osiris shouted, recognizing the danger in its seductive allure. "This is a trap, a lure designed to ensnare the weak-hearted." But even as he spoke, the souls at the edges of the Duat began to stir, drawn toward the haunting song like moths to flame. "Stay firm," Anubis commanded, raising his staff high. "We must protect the lost. They are not mere playthings for the dark." He summoned a barrier of shadows surrounding the souls, pushing back against the dark melody that threatened to engulf them. But the vortex pulsed, and from it emerged a figure wreathed in shadows, their form shifting and undulating like smoke. "Ah, how noble," the figure crooned, her voice dripping with malice. "You wish to shield them from their desires. How foolish of you, gods. I am Lilith, the midnight siren, and I have come to reclaim my lost children." "Lilith," Osiris muttered, recognition dawning. "The one who seduces souls into eternal slumber. You bring nothing but despair." His heart raced as he recalled the ancient tales of her darkness, a being who thrived on the sorrow of others. "Indeed," Lilith replied, her laughter echoing through the Duat. "But I offer them freedom. They need not suffer the weight of existence any longer. Come, my sweet children, embrace the eternal night." A voice wove through the air like silk, caressing the ears of the lost souls as they swayed in response. "Nah," Anubis shouted, summoning the strength of the Duat. "You will not take them." He thrust his staff forward, sending tendrils of shadow that snaked toward Lilith. But she merely flicked her wrist, and they dissipated like mist in sunlight. "Foolish god," she taunted, her eyes glinting with dark amusement. "You cannot keep them from their desires. I will weave a tapestry of their dreams, and they will follow me willingly." Osiris felt the surge of panic rise within him as he saw the souls begin to approach the vortex, entranced by Lilith's dark magic. "We must rally our strength," he shouted, turning to Anubis and Cephus. "Together, we can break a hold." As the three gods joined their powers, a brilliant light erupted from their forms, illuminating the Duat with a radiant burst. Lilith recoiled momentarily, hissing as the light seared her shadowy tendrils. "You think you can resist me? I will feast on your despair. Let this be your end, Lilith." Osiris roared, channeling the energy of the lost souls into a concentrated beam of light. "We will no longer allow darkness to prey upon the innocent." In a moment of united force, the gods unleashed their combined power, a blinding light that surged toward Lilith. But she laughed, the sound echoing like shards of glass in the air. "You cannot extinguish darkness, Osiris, I am eternal." With a flick of her hand, she conjured a whirlwind of shadows that spiraled round her, absorbing the light. "I shall consume your power and make it my own." The shadows exploded outward, creating a tempest that sent the three gods staggering back. "Hold the line," Anubis yelled, rallying the souls once more. "Remember your bonds. You are not lost. You are loved." His voice cut through the chaos, reigniting the flickering lights within the souls. Cephus, her presence shimmering with authority, reached out to the threads of fate. "We can weave a new destiny. Embrace love. Remember your lives. Fight against this darkness." She began to entwine the souls' memories into a brilliant tapestry, illuminating their hearts. Emboldened by the goddess' words, the souls rallied, their fear turning to defiance as they resisted the pull of Lilith's siren song. They began to chant, their voices rising in harmony, a powerful anthem of love and remembrance that shook the very core of the Duat. "No, stop this!" Lilith shrieked, her form flickering as the light began to pierce through her shadows. "You cannot forsake me." Osiris felt the tide turning. Now, strike while she is vulnerable. He charged forward, his heart fueled by the collective strength of the souls. Anubis and Cephus followed, their powers combining in a vibrant explosion that surged toward Lilith. With a cry filled with both fear and rage, Lilith unleashed a torrent of shadows, but it was too late. The radiant energy enveloped her, consuming the dark magic as the soul surged forth, breaking free from her grasp. "Feel the light," Anubis roared, striking at the core of Lilith's darkness. "You are but a shadow in our presence." The ground shook beneath them as the clash of divine powers erupted. In a final desperate bid, Lilith twisted the shadows around her, morphing into a monstrous form of darkness and despair. "You will pay for this, gods. I will return, and I will reclaim what is mine." But Osiris, with resolve etched in his features, stepped forward. "The Duat will never belong to you, Lilith. Your journey ends here." With one final surge of energy, he unleashed a beam of light so pure it shattered the very essence of her darkness. Lilith's form screamed in agony as the light engulfed her, unraveling her existence into fragments of shadow that scattered into the void. "This is not the end," echoed her voice, haunting and bitter as she faded from their sight. As the last vestiges of her darkness dissipated, a newfound calm swept over the Duat. The souls, once lost and ensnared, began to find their way back to themselves, their memories rekindled by the god's unwavering light. "Go forth, my children," Osiris cried, his voice filled with warmth and pride. "Return to the living, your legacies await you." The souls, emboldened by the victory over darkness, began to rise, shimmering like stars against the eternal night. Anubis stood beside Osiris, a proud smile breaking across his features. "We have triumphed again, brother, but we must remain vigilant. Darkness will always seek to rise." Zephyr stepped forward, weaving her fingers in complex patterns. "The threads of fate are fragile still. Let us nurture them and guide those who have returned. We will not allow chaos to unravel what we have fought so hard to protect." As the Duat pulsed with renewed energy, Osiris turned to his companions, determination gleaming in his emerald eyes. "Together, we will guard the balance of existence. We will not allow darkness to reclaim its hold on our realm." In that twilight moment, as the last of the souls ascended, the gods stood united, guardians of the Duat, protectors of life and death. The legend of their battle against the darkness spread like wildfire, igniting hope in the hearts of mortals everywhere, reminding them that even in the darkest of times, light could prevail. Yet, deep within the shadows, a whisper lingered, an echo of Lilith's promise. The gods knew that the struggle against chaos was not over. For every battle won, new challenges awaited, and they would stand as sentinels against the tides of fate, ready to face whatever darkness dared to rise again. The story of the Duat continued, an ever-unfolding tapestry woven with resilience, honor, and the enduring bonds of love, a legend that would never fade into the void.